Hey friend, I am so excited that you're getting started with your Seint makeup. You're not going to regret it. This makeup truly is amazing, and I'm here to teach you how to use it. Let's first start by setting up our compact. So you should have got a compact, whether it be one single layer, or maybe it's two, or maybe you got one that looked like this, or maybe you got one that's even bigger. Either way, we're going to try to set it up so then it's really easy for you to use. So we're gonna start with the single layer. Usually you have got two highlight colors. One is your main foundation color and one is your concealer. And then you have your contour and your lip and cheek color. If you got more than that, you're going to usually have eyeshadows, or you're going to have a bronzer or an illuminator, or maybe another lip and cheek color, whatever it is. We're gonna first start with just your basic 4 colors that you're going to use, and then we'll go from there, okay? So you're going to get this cute bag that has your tins in it, and we're just going to reach in there. We're gonna grab this tin. We're going to slide it out just like that, and you can throw this away. There's no need to keep this, but we're going to take our color and we're going to put it in our tin, okay? So first, grab one of your highlight colors that looks darker in shade. If you're not quite sure, you can message me and I can help you if you can't remember what to get. But I'm gonna put my main foundation color. This is my highlight color, and I'm putting that one in first. Then I'm going to grab my second highlight color. This is my concealer. Usually it's lighter in shade, and that one's going to go second. Then we're going to take our contour next and put that in place. And then we're going to take our lip and cheek color and put that one in. So this is how it should look, okay? Really easy to do. It's all magnetic, so it's not gonna move around. If you need to replace a color, you can take your fingernail, you can take a bobby pin, whatever it is, to get that tin out, plop it out, and there you go. You can replace it, or you can put another color in if you want to. Maybe switch up your blushes. So this is how your basic layer is gonna look. If you have a compact that looks like more like this one, where it's a little more square, you're gonna wanna set up your colors to be lengthwise instead of up and down. So see the difference there? They're gonna fit better if you do it that way. So there's just a little tip for you. Once we have it all, let's get started. So you're going to get a brush, and it's gonna come in a little tube like this, and you're just gonna open it up, and you're gonna take this netting off of your brush, and it is ready to go. So most of you will have started with the 3D brush. I love this brush for beginners, but don't worry if maybe you went a different route or I recommended a different brush. Most of our brushes have like a bigger and smaller end to it, okay? So this is the smaller, this is the bigger, and you're going to use them in very much similar ways like this one. But if you're still not quite sure how to use your brush, please reach out. I have other videos that I can share with you. So the 3D brush, we're going to start with this, okay? So we're first going to dip into our main foundation color, and I'm actually gonna use the bigger end of my brush for this, and I'm just kind of swiping just to get enough product on my brush. You can always go back and get more, but just know that a little goes a long way with this cream product, okay? So these tins should last you, your foundation should last you at least 2 months, if not longer than that. So if you're going through it faster, let's chat. You may be using too much product, or maybe don't have the right shade. So I'm just kind of dabbing this onto my face, and I'm putting it everywhere that my contour or my concealer is not going to go, okay? So I'm not gonna put anything here unless you have, like, see how I have redness there? I may put like a tiny little layer there, but not a ton, just enough that kind of evens out my skin tone. So I'm just going to kind of dab and put it on that way. If you dab your product on your face like this, it's going to give you a little bit fuller coverage. If you were to swipe it like this, it's going to give you a lighter coverage, okay? So maybe you don't want anything too crazy, then you can get a little bit lighter coverage that way. You can get a little bit fuller coverage that way. And maybe in certain areas, if you have acne, then you may want to dab that on, so then it really gives you the coverage that you want, okay? So we're putting this forehead kind of towards the center. See how I'm not putting any up there? That's because that's where my contour is gonna go. And then I put on my nose, my upper lip, my chin, and along my jaw right here. And that's it. That's where you put your foundation, okay? So now I'm going to dip into my concealer color. So this one, I'm just gonna put a swipe here and a swipe here, just like that. Remember, little goes a long way, especially with the concealer. You do not want too much product underneath your eyes or else it can crease and settle in those lines. But if it ever does crease, it's really easy to just take your finger and dab it and pick up any excess product or grab a sponge. It really is simple to fix. Okay, so once we do that, we're just gonna kind of mix those two together. Once again, I'm just kind of dabbing, going back and forth. Hold on, let me close this. Okay, so we're just dabbing, going back and forth until it's nice and blended. Okay, same on this side. If you need a little bit more, you can always go back and add more. And then if you feel like you wanna maybe bring your concealer other places, you can bring it right here in the center of your eyebrows. This is not necessary. This is just kind of just adding a little bit more dimension to your face. You get a little bit on your chin, and then you can always take it and put it down the center of your nose. I like to just use the side of my pinky for that because I feel like it creates such a perfect straight line. Okay, that's where your concealer goes, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to dip into the bronzer, once again using the big fluffy side. If you feel like you have a lot of extra product on your brush, you probably dip too much, but if you do, you can always grab a towel and wipe it off. Okay, here's your tip for contouring. It's top of your ear, right here, okay? And we're gonna go towards the bottom of our nose, but we're going to end it at the center of our eye. So if you feel, you will feel your cheekbone right there and it curves under. So we're going to grab this. We're gonna always start up towards the back of towards our ear, so the back of our face. And we're just gonna kind of bounce back and forward that contour line until it goes towards the middle of our eye. See, stopping, well, more the white of our eye. Just like that, okay? If you feel like you got way too much contour on, don't worry, I'll show you a trick. But we're just gonna start there and we're gonna dab towards that middle of the eye, always making sure that line goes towards the bottom of our nose. We don't want it to head down towards our lip because if we do, it actually makes our cheeks look like they're drooped and it can kind of sag that face a little bit. We want that optical illusion of making our cheekbones lifted and then chiseled. So that's what this is gonna create. Okay, so we're just gonna leave that right now until we get everything else done, then we'll blend it. I added a little bit more product. Now we're gonna go for the forehead. If you have a forehead that is 4 fingers or more, you're gonna create kind of a thicker line. And if you only have like a 2-finger forehead, you really don't need much. You may just not even have it up there, honestly. But I have a bigger forehead, so I like to put my contour a little bit thicker, bring it down, because that's going to create the illusion that I have a smaller forehead. Okay, so we're just going to blend that back and forth, whatever motion, until I feel like it's nice and blended. Okay, and then you can add a little bit onto that jawline. If you have maybe those jowls right here, maybe you're a little bit more mature skin, you have a little bit hanging here, you would go over top of them. So you would kind of take it at this angle, a little bit more on top of your jawline, go on top of those. If you don't, then just keep it under, and then make sure, most important thing, blend down that neck. That will create that shadow and bring it down and won't leave you with a harsh, dark line along your jaw because we don't want that. Okay, so once that's blended, now I'm just gonna go and blend this. Take your brush, blend it upwards. Always blend that line up because that's going to once again lift those cheekbones. Just like that. And trust me, the faster you get at this, it's gonna take you less than 5 minutes to get ready. And then if you want, you can always contour your nose, just drawing a little bit of that contour right here on the side. I tried to bring it a little bit more up, give a little shape there, but you don't have to do that. Last but not least, lip and cheek. So we're gonna dab into that. Our blushes are so pigmented. So a little truly does go a long way with these. So just start with a tiny bit, like tiny bit, and then go from there. But I'm gonna start kind of right here in the outer side of my eye, and then I'm just gonna go back towards my hairline, just like that. I don't like to bring it too far in. Like if I bring it here, that I feel like kind of actually makes your cheekbones like really pronounced. So if you don't have cheekbones that really stand out, then bring it more right here. If you have cheekbones that you're like, oh yeah, they're pretty obvious anyways, maybe let's not, or really round cheekbones, then bring it from the outer corner of your eye and bring it back towards your hairline, just like that. Like I said, it just kind of depends on what you want for the look of your makeup, and that will depend on how far in you bring your blush. And then of course, can't forget to put it on the lips as well. I love these colors as lips. So that's it. That's your simple how to use the basic 4 colors. If you have more products than that, I'm just going to quickly show you. Let's say you have the bronzer. I'm obsessed with the bronzer. If you don't have it, I highly recommend getting it. It just gives like this warm, like sun-kissed tan look. So I'm just going to take that and put it more like where I typically would get burnt if I was outside. And then I just bring a little on my neck too, because sometimes I want my neck to be a little bit darker. So now we're just gonna blend this all together, and it just gives this warm, sun-kissed look to my skin. And I just kind of swirl it as I blend it out. And okay, here's a tip too, really fast, and then we're done. If you feel like your contour line is just too thick, you do not like how it applied, you feel like you went a little too thick, a little too crazy, a little too dark, take your foundation color and just erase it. Just go right underneath it, clean it up, erase it a little bit. If you feel like it's a little too dark, take this side, dab it into your foundation just a little, and then you can like dab over top of it. Okay? That's the beautiful thing about cream makeup, is it is so forgiving. It all blends so beautifully together, so it really is easy to figure out. So there you go, guys. This is your how to get started with your Seint Makeup, how to set up your compact, how to use your brush, and how to apply your makeup so then you look like you know what you're doing. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out, and definitely check for more videos on my Instagram at Jess Casperson, or even my TikTok, and you can also find more videos here on YouTube. So thanks for watching, guys.